All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to a very special episode of Navigating the Modern World with Eli. Glad you could all join me here on this late Sunday night. If you're still here on the West Coast with me, most of you are in a different time zone, and it is already Monday morning. Good Monday morning to you. It is Sunday, December 1st, 2024. Let me double check that because... Yeah, sometimes we make mistakes. It is Sunday, December 1st, 2024. I have a very special show I want to present here tonight, particularly for one gentleman that I've known on the YouTube platform for over 6 years now, and that's RJ. We're just going to refer to him as RJ. So we're going to get to that in just a second. But before we get to that, let me first of all make sure that everything is rolling smoothly. Let me check out the back end of YouTube. And it looks like it's rolling well. And let me also make sure that the notification has gone out. It has. And let me do a sound check. Good morning to you. It's Sunday, December 1st, 2024. Check that because, sometimes we make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. We're human, right? Like the Human League song, I'm only human, born to make mistakes, right? We all make mistakes. Let's get right to it because I really didn't want to do this stream, but after hearing RJ's stream from earlier tonight, I really felt the need to respond because I wanted to, RJ. And I'm going to do it respectfully because I feel for the most part you were very respectful in your stream and you made a lot of great points. And that's my unbiased opinion about your points. The title of this stream is Responding to RJ's latest stream on me respectfully. One more time. Responding to RJ's latest stream on me respectfully. Okay. So where am I going to start here? First of all, RJ said that he was viewing a bunch of streams on YouTube from earlier today. Now, if you're watching this on Monday, it was yesterday. But I think you all can put it all together. And now, I'm not going to be mentioning a lot of names within this stream because I just want RJ to understand what's really going on. And I also want some other people to understand what's really going on because, honestly, I'm really tired of people being misinformed or just not really understanding what's going on, or maybe you do really understand what's going on and you're choosing to not say too much, which I can understand that, RJ. I can understand that. But when you leave out the meat and potatoes of the story, RJ, I have to fill that in. I'm going to fill that in because when you present what you presented in the way you did, okay, it makes me come off really, really bad, and you don't even know the full story. Either you don't know the full story, or you're choosing to not share the full story, which I more so think that's what it is. I think maybe you fear repercussions, to share more than you did. Again, I can understand that. Now, you were talking, actually, on my stream earlier, I was talking about, disabled people. On my other channel, this is GNA, Genuine Personal Development, where I'm doing the live in-studio streams here until the end of the year. Then these will go back to GNA 2, and this will be a pre-recorded channel only. Now, I may do some live streams, every now and then down the road on here, but that's what the plan is, okay? Now, I did a stream regarding the misconceptions of disabled people on YouTube. And there are a lot of misconceptions. And you did clear up a lot, RJ. I'm going to give you props. Honestly, I understand completely where you're coming from. You were talking about, well, that depends on if certain disabled people are cognitive enough. Pardon me if I jumble a few words here. It depends on if certain disabled people are cognitive enough to be held accountable for their actions. And I can understand that to a certain extent. I can. So basically what you're saying is people that don't truly understand what they're doing should not be held accountable for their actions. And again, to a certain extent, I agree with that and I understand that. Okay? But I'm also going to make it very clear, and I think you said this in different words. Number one, you are cognitive, and every other disabled person I've encountered on this platform is cognitive because they've come out here, they've created a channel, they are cognitive enough to create a channel, speak their mind, talk about myself, you, or anyone else, right? So when I was saying that disabled people shouldn't get a free pass, maybe I wasn't clear enough on that. Okay? So you cleared it up. If you are cognitive enough to start a YouTube channel and speak your mind, and you understand clearly what you're doing, and your disability does not affect that aspect of you understanding that, then you do not get a free pass. You don't. I understand that. I understand completely where you're coming from on that. But people that are not cognitive enough are not even going to create content for the most part. Because if someone, that, can't comprehend things in general, they're going to have a difficult time even starting a YouTube channel, let alone running one, doing live streams and doing videos. Either that, or they're going to say things unknowingly that violate the terms of service and they're going to be removed, right? So I get where you're coming from, but when it comes to me, RJ, that has nothing to do with me, because the people that I have been dealing with on YouTube, or have been dealing with me, because honestly, I've been ignoring these people. I've tried to ignore them. All I've wanted to do is come out here and run my business and help people. And there are people that are assisting other people, other creators, to further harass, bully, stalk, and attack me, in my opinion. And they know exactly what they're doing. Okay? Now, you also mentioned that you were watching some other streams. I'm not going to mention names of these people. Okay? I'm going to refer to the situation. And you can put two and two together to make out what I'm talking about. And I really want you to understand this. I really want you to pay close attention to this, RJ. And anyone else that doesn't understand the situation here. I've created a timeline of events. And once you hear this timeline of events, RJ, I want you to put yourself in my position, in Don's position, in my mother's position, my family's position. I want you to put yourself in my shoes after I share with you what I'm about to share with you. And then you tell me if it's even possible to ignore this. I've done everything possible to ignore all of this. Now, here's the thing, RJ. Here's the thing. like you say, your famous phrase, right? I forgot what I was going to say right now. Let me remember what I was going to say, because there's a lot I wanted to say in a short amount of time. Oh yeah. So if people kept everything on YouTube, most of everything that's happened on YouTube, RJ, I may not like it, but I can ignore that, because that part, for the most part, is freedom of speech protected by First Amendment rights. I understand that. So if people kept everything 100% on YouTube, okay, there'd be no problems at all. But when people cross the line, RJ, and take it off of YouTube and use the court system, use 911 emergency services wrongfully, use police services wrongfully as a method to troll you, in my opinion, that's where it crosses the line, and that just can't be ignored, RJ. Maybe, RJ, you haven't heard the full story, and that's okay. I'm going to share with you the timeline here without mentioning names and without blaming anyone, and just putting it out there so you can understand how I was feeling during this time. My girlfriend Dawn was feeling during this time. My mother was feeling during this time. My brother and other family members were feeling during this time. And then if you want to do a reaction video to me, RJ, and fill in the gaps that you left out yesterday, and then said, oh, just ignore it, Eli, this is stupid, it should all go away, I agree with you on that. The stuff on YouTube is stupid. When people go real life on you and use court resources and police resources and 911 emergency service resources to troll you, in my opinion, that's where it way crosses the line. And there are many people that agree with me regarding this. So yeah, again, RJ, if this was all kept on YouTube, no problem. No problem at all. Now, before I share a timeline here, by the way, the live chat is off. There will be no live chat. No live chat replay, obviously, because there's no live chat. Comments are turned off, and the like button is turned off. I'm not looking for anything out of this video besides getting this out there, so primarily RJ can understand where I'm coming from, and some other people that may not truly understand where I'm coming from. I'm going to share that with you. But I got to all of a sudden use the bathroom real quick. So, and I'm hoping that my audio program works fine. It was having some issues, so I'm going to try to run it, and hopefully it won't screw up. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back, folks. We are back live. We are back live. We are just going to scratch it and get right back down to business. And it's been one of those days. Some days you have to use the restroom more than others. I've been drinking a lot of coffee today and, other rehydration drinks. So it is what it is. But anyway, welcome back to the show, everyone. Let me just wait before I get into the next part here. This shouldn't take too long, maybe 20 minutes or so, hopefully less, but we'll just see. I need to get through a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. And let me just make sure that everything is still working normally here. I'm still waiting. There's a 1 minute delay between what I say and what goes out, so let me just make sure. And get right back down to business. It's been one of those days. Some days you have to use. All right, all is good. All is well. That's more proper English. Okay, so let's go ahead and RJ, I'm going to share a timeline with you of events because you were talking about a back and forth that's been going on between another creator and myself that will not be mentioned. People can put two and two together and figure that out. Okay, I'm not here to cause any issues for any other creator, including this one or other people, but people seem to want to keep creating me issues that stem off of YouTube. And when it goes off of YouTube, that's a big problem, especially if you've done nothing wrong. Just because you said some things on YouTube in the past or you had some disagreements with people, doesn't give people the right to constantly, harass you and attack you and stalk you and do things, right? But so I'm not looking to go back and forth with anyone, RJ. I'm not looking to go back and forth with anyone, including this person. But what I want you to know, RJ, is this is a timeline of events that happened last year starting on September 28th, 2023, okay? And I want you to put yourself in my shoes, in Don's shoes, in my mother's shoes, my brother's shoes, my family's shoes, and I want you to try to understand how much emotional distress this has caused myself and my family. And even just talking about this right now is causing me emotional distress. And honestly, if you come back, RJ, and just say you should just let it all go, then RJ, I will have lost all faith in you. Because no one deserves to go through what I've been through. On September 28th, Don and I did a live stream on YouTube on the way to the Jason Aldean concert at the Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View, California, about 20 minutes south of where we live. It's also right next door to the Google headquarters that owns YouTube. Okay. And we wanted to do that stream to show people the drive along the way, show them Google and all that. On the way down there, we were getting trolled. And I think Dawn got some messages also behind the scenes that she didn't really like. And it was starting to affect her. Okay. She didn't feel good about it. Okay. So she told me to stop the stream. And as a good man, I encouraged her to not stop the stream, and we should not let these people get to us, okay? That is not considered abuse in any way, shape, or form. Any good man or good woman in the relationship is going to encourage the other party in the relationship to not let these things get to them and to just keep on moving forward. This was nothing but encouragement. But some people intentionally, in my opinion, wanted to perceive it as, abuse. There was no abuse at all. Now, that was September 28th, 2023. A little over a month later, on November 1st of 2023, RJ, a wellness call was made to my house. And I went to the Redwood City Public Records Request website, and I saw who made that request because the same day, the same day the cops did come, I'll share about that in a second. The same day, this person requested the audio of their own call. And Redwood City told them that you need to pay a fee for it because you are the one making the call. Now, why would you want a recording of your own call? I don't understand that, right? That doesn't make any sense to me unless, you wanted to play it on YouTube, okay, for content, okay, on a false wellness call regarding something that happened over a month prior that wasn't abuse. It was clearly not abuse. That stream is members only right now, still available on the other channel, GNA2. Now, the very next day, RJ, this same person that made the call, you know who they are, they made another request through the Redwood City Public Records website for the body cam footage. They tried to get the body cam footage of the officers coming to my house to make sure that Dawn was okay because the person calling said that I was abusing her on a live stream I think it was on a live, that's what I heard they said. I'll know more soon. Okay. But that's what I heard was said, because what else were they going to base it off of? They're in Florida, 2,500 miles away, right? So they tried to request the body cam footage, and I talked to Redwood City Police, and they said they don't release body cam footage in this situation. That was an attempt to invade my privacy, RJ. Now, on November 1st, two Redwood City, female police officers of the law, two very, very nice female police officers came to the house. My mother was there, and she opened the door, and it freaked her out. It caused her extreme emotional distress. It still does to this day, because she's wondering what happened. What did my son do, or what did Dawn do, right? The officers came down to the third floor where we lived. They talked with Dawn and I for about 10 minutes, checked things out, and then they left. And I told them, I said, yeah, somebody from YouTube called based on a video that happened, a month ago. And I think from what I remember, I can't remember exactly. This is my opinion about it. I think they were like threatening to make that call. Now, so that was one instance there where I felt violated, Dawn felt violated, my mother felt violated. This should have never happened. There was no reasonable cause for a wellness check. None. Okay? Now, let's continue the timeline, RJ. Let's continue the timeline of events here. Okay? On November 13th, 2023, this same person filed a small claims business case on me because myself and others had reported to YouTube that this person was impersonating my YouTube channel and my business, which they were. Now, at this time, another person that was in your chat of your live stream earlier, let's just say he used to call himself Coach as well. You know who I'm talking about. I don't want to mention his name. This person, I believe this person, in my opinion, is the one that convinced this woman to go after my business, because this same person, when my channel used to be called A Grip on Life, this channel here used to be called The Grip on Life years ago, he intentionally went in his state and filed for an LLC under the A Grip on Life name because he was trying to troll me with that. So it's kind of ironic to me that, at that time, this male that was in your chat earlier, RJ, was friends with this other woman, and next thing you know, they duplicated my entire business. They made their channel all about my business in the same name. It was 100%, in my opinion, a trolling technique. And everybody knows it. Okay? 100%, in my opinion, a trolling technique. Now, what happened was I didn't realize that I was running my business as a secondary type of business. I was selling insurance up until about 3.5 years ago or so, something like that. I can't remember the exact date when I stopped. But I wasn't running my business at the level I'm running it today. I was going to get it there, but I didn't realize I needed a business license with the city of Redwood City to even operate an online, personal development type of business. I didn't realize that. Okay. I made an honest mistake. It was an honest oversight. And at that point, this lady from Florida applied for a business license here in the city of Redwood City under the same name as my business. And they gave it to her. And then she started an LLC. And then after all that happened, and her channel was terminated for impersonation, she then sued me for wrongfully terminating her YouTube channel in small claims court. Sued me for $2,500. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. This should have never happened. Everyone knows this should have never happened. It was one big troll. We all know that. Okay? Now, this has been all settled since that time, and I was very kind in the way that I settled it. But this has been one big troll for YouTube content and clout, and to cater content to an audience of Eli haters. Now, I countersued for $10,000 for intentional infliction of emotional distress. The woman tried to dismiss my counterclaim not once but twice before the case. Now, why would she do that? Because, in my opinion, she knew she was causing me emotional distress and, was trying to get it dismissed. So that way I'd have no leg to stand on and it would make her case appear stronger, which it wouldn't have, in my opinion. Right? And a week or so before the court date or so, we both decided to settle the case. Okay, I'll get to that in a bit. But let's go back to the date, November 13th, 2023, when this small claims case was filed. Okay. 1 week later, on November 20th of 2023, RJ, I was served in one of the most unorthodox ways anyone would ever be served. Now, I was legally served. I'm not questioning that I wasn't legally served. But everyone that's been around knows exactly why that certain process server was sent. The process server that served me was a part of the YouTube gig economy community and found his way through the Coach Eli. At that point, I was Coach Eli. Now I'm just Eli. Found his way through the Coach Eli hate group, right? And he lives in Southern California, 500 miles away from where I live. And he was sent to serve me 500 miles away. Okay. And it's been said that he was already going to be in the San Francisco Bay Area for business. I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. Can he prove that? Can he prove that? Can he prove that he was there for other reasons? If that's the case, right? But I'm not even worried about getting served. I was going to get served regardless by someone. It was what the process server did after he left. The process server recorded video on my private property. Okay, recorded video on my private property. Next thing you know, a day later, and actually, RJ, I was live on the air at the time. I was live on the air from the studio looking at my cameras at the time that I was served. I had to pause my stream. A day or so later, that video appeared on the channel of the guy that was in your chat earlier. Let's just refer to him as Coach because he used to call himself Coach as well. Okay. How did he get that video? If the woman sued me and she was serving me, how did that video get to him? First of all, that video was not legally recorded. It was private property. But second of all, even if for some reason he was allowed to record, that video went from supposedly the woman that sued me and served me to this other man that used to go by the name of Coach. I'm not going to say his full thing on your channel, right? And then he took that video that was recorded by the process server and added in video of when the process server showed up and I was looking at my screen on my camera. I have a copy of that video. I have a copy of everything. That stuff is no longer publicly available. Now, that stuff's not being put out, RJ. But that's what happened. I felt like my privacy was violated. Now, I understand it's a public case. But this video and the way that this was all set up, in my opinion, was set up to harass me and bully me. The other person had nothing to do with the case, but somehow he got the process server's video recording serving me in his hands and it made it on his channel. And then he edited in the part where, I was looking at my camera at the process server knocking on my door. Does that sound right to you, RJ? You know how much emotional distress that caused me when that video went public? And that, in my opinion, made it a mockery of the court system. These people were making this a mockery of the court system and then trying to use it as content to entertain their audience. Now remember, that was November 20th, 2023. A little over a month after that, on December 26th of 2023, RJ, after filing this case, this woman decides to file a stalking order on me in her state of Florida, saying that I was stalking and harassing her, and she feared for her son's life and this and that. First of all, I have never stalked or harassed anyone. Okay? I've never gone real life on anyone. Ever. Ever. I've never, ever done this kind of stuff. Ever. Give me a second here. I've never stalked or harassed anyone. Now, remember, this was all happening all at once. Do you see a pattern here? You see a pattern here? Okay. 9 days later, I'm reading this from my notes because it's hard to remember everything unless you go back to the actual documents to get the dates. Then you remember it clearly. 9 days later, I was served on Thursday, January 4th, 2024, for a case I was served to appear in Florida, 2,500 miles away on Monday, January 8th. Okay? 2 business days and 4 total days before I was supposed to appear in Florida. Okay? Now, I read online that in the state of Florida, there's no set amount of time that I guess you can serve someone the day before, and they have to try to find their way to the courthouse, even if they're 2,500 miles away, or if they can't afford it or whatever, right? Here I am on Thursday, January 4th, 2024, after everything I just mentioned to you, causing me extreme emotional distress, and my family and my girlfriend and everyone. Here I am. I'm served to appear in Florida at a courthouse 2,500 miles away on Thursday, January 4th, and the case is Monday, January 8th in the morning, I think at 9 a.m. Eastern, which I would lose 3 hours because I'm on the West Coast. It took me all day Thursday and Friday, to figure out how do I contact the courthouse and how do I send the judge a request to appear remotely. I called the Florida courthouse. I was on hold for a while. Then I had to put all the information together and send urgent documents to the judge asking for remote appearance. The judge denied me remote appearance. I told the judge, I can't afford to fly out that far. And my girlfriend, I'm her caretaker. I'm her caretaker. I can't leave her. Can you please approve me to appear, remotely by phone or by video? They denied me. And the judge offered me to, push the court date back. But I said, that's not going to matter. I can't afford to come out there. And I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Now, the temporary stalking order was denied. Right? Now, the date that we were supposed to both appear in the Florida courthouse was January 8th, 2024, Monday, January 8th, 2024. I knew I wasn't going to appear. I was like, am I screwed here? Is the system going to screw me for something I didn't do? And then on Wednesday, January 10th, a couple days later, I received a letter from the Florida court stating that the other party didn't show up and the case was dismissed. So this woman files a stalking order on me. The temporary was denied, which that doesn't matter. The full thing can still go through if enough evidence, if preponderance of the evidence is brought to the judge on the actual court date. But she didn't show up. The other party that was trying to get the petitioner didn't show up. I was the respondent in this case. And the case was dismissed. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Was I just trolled again? Was the court system just used to troll me, to bring me further emotional distress? I'm distressed right now just talking about this. But I love what I do out here on YouTube. I love people. I've never harmed anyone. And I just want to be left alone. And even when good people like you, RJ, don't believe me or think that this is just a matter you can just ignore and let go, come on, man. Now, between January 10th, 2023, and the court date was coming up on April 26th, 2024. Okay? So we had January, February, March, April. We had a little over 3 months after that attempted stalking order on me was denied because the petitioner didn't show up. Okay. It probably would have been denied anyway. Because if she thought she could get it, she would have shown up. Now, on April 26th, between January 10th, 2024 and April 26th, 2024, earlier this year, there was a lot of back and forth in this case. I had filed my countersuit, intentional infliction of emotional distress. And she tried to dismiss my counterclaim, not once, but twice. And then the County of San Mateo said that, the defendant's case will be heard, after the second time that she tried to get it dismissed, right? This took a lot of time to put this paperwork together, to file with the courts, right? Print out all this stuff, drive down to the courthouse, file it. Now, I know you can e-file, but it's much better and safer, in my opinion, to drive it down to the courthouse at the clerk's office and have them do it there, okay? But we decided to settle the case. The reason why I settled the case, RJ, everyone knows this, but I'll say it again, is because if either one of us would have won our case, if she would have won her plaintiff's claim, or if I would have won my defendant's claim, the other side would have filed an appeal. At that point, we would have had to hire attorneys, which would cost thousands of dollars. Okay. And then it's not only the money, but it was going to create even more emotional distress. More of my concern was the emotional distress that it wasn't only going to cost me, but cost my girlfriend Dawn, my mother, and my family. Okay. So we settled the case. And in order for her to settle the case, I either had to try to get her YouTube channel back, which I did, or if YouTube didn't give her channel back, then I had to pay her $1,000. I wasn't too happy about that, but I wanted to get this dismissed because honestly, if we would have gone to court and either side would have won, there would have been an appeal, and that would have cost a lot more than $1,000. And if you folks just don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. And I was thinking that all of this, I handled it. Part of the agreement was that we would allow each other to coexist in business. Okay? I would run my business with the GNA, and she would run her business without the GNA, in parentheses. Okay? Under a different classification code. Mine is personal development. Hers is business services. Fine. No problem. It's all good. And at that point, things were really, really good. At least I thought they were going to be. Other people were telling me it's not going to make a difference. And they were right. Because I was left alone probably for about a month or so, and then this person started right back up. Now, after this point, after April 26, 2024, between May of 2024 and now December of 2024, there have been a lot of other things that have happened that I'm not going to be discussing here. Maybe down the road, I might talk about it, but right now I'm not. But I think I've given you enough, RJ, to understand how I was feeling during this time and how I'm still feeling about it, and how my girlfriend, my live-in girlfriend Dawn, my mother, and other family members were feeling about this during this time, and how much emotional distress it caused us during that time, and it continues to cause us at this current moment. Even while I'm live on the air right now, I'm emotionally distressed. But I want to have my right to come out here and help people. And I want to have my right to not be harassed, attacked, and abused offline. Now, I'm going to mention one more thing here. This same woman, I just recently got a registered trademark with the state of California. You can get it much, much easier than the United States Patent and Trademark Office, the federal registration, which covers you throughout the U.S. and U.S. territories. I initially had a registered trademark when I started the GNA. I had it back in 2013, and 6 years later, I made a clerical error. I missed some emails. A lot of crazy stuff was happening out here on YouTube, which started all the Coach Eli stuff back then. Too much to go into right now, but most people that were there and have been around for a while know the backstory, right? But because of everything I was going through, I missed the emails where I had to update some information because trademarks are good for 10 years. But at the 6-year mark, you have to update the United States Patent and Trademark Office with your usage. And they warned me many, many times, and I didn't get to it on time, and my trademark was canceled. So then I reapplied for the trademark, and for 3.5 years, I was dealing with a different attorney, and I even hired an attorney to help me through this, and that trademark didn't go through. And then I'm like, okay, I need to reapply. So last year, I applied for the third time in December of 2023. And here we are in December of 2024, 1 year later. And my trademark right now is finally about to be published in the Trademark Online Gazette. Now, once it gets published, there's a 30-day period for opposition. If somebody feels that they would be harmed or, that this shouldn't go through, they're allowed to file a notice of opposition. The caveat is that notice of opposition is going to cost, I think, $500 or $600 to file. And this woman has been saying online many times that she's been waiting for this and she's going to file it. There's another thing going real life. She's got her business. I've got my business. We've agreed to coexist. We settled everything. I've done nothing to her. But she still wants to keep coming at me in real life, RJ. She still wants to keep coming at me in real life. Now, put yourself in my shoes, RJ, regarding everything I told you. And think about if you were in my shoes, what would you do? Would you just give everything up? Say, here, take my business, take my YouTube channel. How about you take my personal identity? How about you take my personal identity? I could say something else, but I'm trying to keep this professional. Would you basically give up on yourself? Or would you stand up for what's right, RJ, in a situation that's completely out of your control? In this case, completely out of my control. I didn't instigate any of this at all. And a lot of the stuff, everything that's being talked about regarding me has nothing to do with this person. I've never once harassed her, attacked her, or anything. All I've ever done is try to defend myself and try to get her to stop. That's all. I really wish, RJ, this didn't have to go where it's gone. I really wish that it didn't have to go where it's gone. But my family has been greatly affected by it. I've been greatly affected by it. Again, before I wrap this up, RJ, again, had this been kept on YouTube, I would say most of it, I would just let go. There have been some things that happen on YouTube that I wouldn't have let go because they are considered things that no one should let go. Let's just put it that way. But if this was kept on YouTube and never taken into real life using the court system, 911 emergency resources, police resources and all that, then I would be ignoring this. But you have to understand, RJ, when someone's entire audience is based off of a group of people hate bonding over me or on me, any creator that's talking about me is going to get their attention as long as they keep coming at me. You understand that? Now, finally here, RJ, because you haven't been paying attention to a lot of stuff, and I understand. It's the holiday time, we're busy, and no one wants to deal with drama. I get it. But you talked about it tonight, so I'm going to clear the air. Okay? You talked about it tonight, so I'm going to clear the air. Again, I really wish this never got to this point. Give me a second. I truly wish this never got to this point, RJ. But I can't control what other people do, and neither can you. I can't. Oh, what I was going to mention is this. Most of the people, and I'll mention one person's name like I've been saying, Jamie, for example. Hats off to you. It sounds like you've, for the most part, moved on. I appreciate that and I respect that. Again, like I said the other day on my walking stream when I mentioned Jamie, I'm not looking for a pat on the back. I'm not looking for a thank you. I'm not looking for any props at all. The truth is the truth and the facts are the facts. And I only talk about how I feel. This is how I feel regardless of what anyone else thinks, including Jamie. And quite frankly, I'm proud of the fact that, hey, you've moved on to bigger and better things. And I'll even apologize to you, James, because I'm beginning, in the past, people have said about, your online girlfriends not being real and stuff like that. In this case, I'm really beginning to think like this woman has done a lot of good for you. And that's awesome, dude, because that's what a good woman does for a man. And I know you guys, at times out here on YouTube haven't seen the best side of both Dawn and I. Not because we don't love each other, because we've been under a lot of stress regarding all this YouTube stuff primarily. There are some other things going on. I've talked about Dawn's family in the past. I'm not going to get into that. There's been a bunch of things, right? But for the most part, my girlfriend Dawn has made one of the biggest differences in my life ever. Okay? And that's why I'm with her. She's been very supportive. Even throughout all of this, she's been very, very supportive. I firmly believe that your new woman has made a huge difference in your life, James, and I'm happy for you. Believe it or not, you can look into my eyes in high definition here. You know, I've got good quality cameras, right? Whether you care or not is irrelevant. You don't need to care about me. But I honestly, sincerely mean that. He's practically moved on, and so has other people that work with him. Some people that I won't mention by name per their request. And I'm thankful for that as well. And by the way, I'm sure you're probably watching right now. Like, I can take a joke. I know these community postings earlier were a joke, and you know I took them like that. And we all know the truth, and that's all that really matters. And see, this kind of stuff is petty, right? It's just poking a little fun. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. Not a big deal at all. But a lot of the people on Jamie's end have moved on, and I'm really proud of you folks. You know, I've seen Jamie grow tremendously on this platform. Like I said the other day, I'm not looking to be best friends with him, and I'm not looking to rectify anything. I mean, I'm going to be cordial with everyone, including him, right? I don't wish any harm upon him or anyone, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just proud of the fact that you've grown up, dude, and it's a good thing. Again, not looking for any props, not looking for anyone to take my side or anything like that. The facts are the facts. This is how I feel. I've always stated how I feel. A lot of people have backed off back in the days. Even, Gunner, JB, backed off. Tiffany even backed off. Occasionally she might say something, but it's nothing like this one group of people continues to do and has done to me almost every single day since September of last year, or even before that. Like, I didn't even realize these people were coming at me until somebody told me. And I found out about it, I think it was the middle of 2023, like June, July. But I think they were talking about me before that. When they took it to the level of duplicating my business, that changed everything. That's pretty much what started this whole thing. And here's the thing. I haven't paid that much attention, but I've heard some things about some people. And, I've heard that I think you have a new job that you're working now, James. And congratulations on that. And to your business partner, you know who you are. I believe you mentioned publicly what you're doing now. Congratulations on that, seriously. I honestly mean that. If you think I'm full of shit, that's your opinion, but I'm really happy for you. I'm happy for the both of you. And there are some other people that, will still come at Don and I, every day. Or not every day, but every so often, which is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to mention their names. Some people tried to come at myself and Don recently, and we just ignored it and they went away. Right? Most people have moved away from all this. They moved away onto bigger and better things. And I thank you for that. I'm glad that the majority of people that have been coming at me for years continuously have stopped and moved on. And I just really wish that the rest of this Eli hate bonding group that's gone from group to group to group, it's been like the strangest thing. I believe it stemmed back to the days of 2017 and 2018 where there was a big MGTOW presence out here on YouTube. MGTOW is short for men going their own way. It was a group of men. A lot of them were saying that the downside risk of marrying women is too hot in the modern world, so it's not worth marrying a woman, especially if you're the breadwinner, because she's going to divorce you and take half your assets, right? A lot of the people that are still coming at me to this day stem from that group. I know you mentioned that, James, and you're right about that. And a lot of these people are miserable people. You're right about that. And I'm not trying to criticize them. I wish they would just get the help they need, right? And move on from this. But it's just this one group of people that's been going from audience to audience to audience. Oh, sorry, from creator to creator to creator. It's the same audience going from creator to creator to creator, right? And it just all needs to go away. It's old. It's just repetitive. And think about it. If you folks, the Eli hate bonding audience, the hater audience of Eli, if you didn't support any creator that was really hating on me or going real life on me, then what would they have? And ask yourselves, are you there to truly support the creator, or are you there because of your hatred of me, your combined hatred of me? Such a limited audience that is never going to grow past a certain point anyway. Anyway, I've been on longer than I wanted to be on, an hour and 4 minutes. I want to thank you all for being here. Lots of love. Onwards and upwards. 2025 is going to be a great year. RJ, I hope you really understand what I've truly been through now that I've clearly explained it to you and given you a timeline. Put yourself in my shoes, in Don's shoes, in my mother's shoes, my family's shoes. I got cameras everywhere, and the dogs are running around in the living room. We have a long, large living room, and they get to run around. They run around outside too, but they keep running around inside, and they get a lot of exercise. They're really, really great, healthy dogs, and we're going to incorporate them in more videos in 2025. And by the way, the people that are saying that shock collars, actually they're not even called shock collars, they're called e-collars. Okay, let me make this very clear to those of you that think that I'm abusing animals or Don and I are abusing animals. We're not doing anything illegal at all. It's not illegal for the current time to own an e-collar, an electronic collar. And there's 3 features to it. There's a light shock, which doesn't hurt anyone. Or there's the high-pitched beep sound, or the vibrate sound, or the vibrate, right? You can use the beep sound, and that will help correct your dog's behavior. Especially if you have a dog like Bochi, who likes to bark at the TV when there's another dog on there. Hang on a second. I've got my camera on my I've got my camera on my laptop now through an app. I've got it on my phone. I've got it on a screen over there. I can access it anywhere. And they've calmed down now. Love those dogs. All right. It's time to go, everyone. God bless everyone, whether you believe in God or not. And please be good to each other. Lots of love to everyone. And to the majority of you that have moved on from the drama that's been surrounding me here for the last 6.5, almost 7 years. Thank you. I tremendously appreciate that. With that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.